ActionSA has filed an application in terms of the Promotion of Access to Information Act. What it wants is to access the reports on the Giyani water project, that's in Limpopo. The party says it will help it to formalise possible legal steps to compel the Department of Water and Sanitation to finish the project, which has been plagued by allegations of corruption and multiple delays. For more on this, we can speak to ActionSA's Limpopo Chairperson, Sello Lediga. Sello, very good evening to you. Thank you so much for your time. So what exactly do you think is in these documents that would help your cause?
Yeah, well, look, I think what we'll find in those documents, it's a lot of mischief, a lot of hidden agendas, because we just do not understand why 9 years later, 4 billion rand down the drain, the people of Giyani are still waiting for water. So somehow there is a cover-up, because under normal circumstances, this matter should have been dealt with, and those guilty of failure or corruption should have been addressed. But unfortunately, it's like a marathon. You know, we've been on this journey since last year, and we are going on and on. For us to now resort to Paia is because we have realized that we have exhausted every possible avenue to knock sense into the head of this government to ensure that the people of Giyani get the water they've been promised 9 years ago by this government.
But why is it necessary for you to get access to these documents when there's already an SIU investigation at the Lepelle Northern Water entity for alleged corruption and mismanagement? The funds there in question, I think, got to the tune of 1 billion rand. What would what you are pursuing achieve that an SIU investigation would perhaps not be able to unearth?
Well, I do not know why the SIU is not succeeding, but we are not a state agency. We are an opposition party. We fear nothing. We can't be controlled by anyone. So all of us at some stage thought that the SIU was going to deliver and make sure that we know what is happening. But Tembegile, this is this country, you know, state agencies sometimes are manipulated, and I'm not casting any aspersions to the SIU. They've been doing excellent work. But we're saying at the end of the day, we want to have access to those documents without depending on the SIU. Because in that case, we will be able to see, you know, all the tenders, you know, all the appointments, the plans, and we'll be able to make a decision and let the people of South Africa find out what we have discovered.
Do you think there's more than just officials perhaps at municipal level who are involved in corruption, and that perhaps it goes far beyond that 1 billion rand that was under investigation?
Forget that this project started during the time of Jacob Zuma. And guess who was the Minister of Water and Sanitation? The current Deputy Secretary General of the ANC, Nomvula Mkonyane. And we all know all the things that happened, you know, at the Zondo Commission with regard to conducting a variety of issues. So we believe that there is something that is being hidden. We believe that the political party that runs this country has got the state in its pocket, and these people are able to protect each other and one another. Because I still do not understand how 9 years later, look, this is a real marathon. We still do not have water, but nobody is taking accountability. So somehow, in desperation, Tembegile, we believe that through Paia, we can access those documents directly and share this with the people of South Africa and say, this is what has happened. It's an injustice to those people. I've been there 4 times. You don't know how bad it is when people do not have water and share it, you know, with animals. When companies have been making billions of rands, you know, when politicians have not been held accountable. In fact, they get promotion in their parties are also in the state. So we believe this is intolerable. And as a party, we will walk all the way with the people of Giyani until justice is served.
And we had a team there, I think it was last year, that filmed, in fact, much of what was going on ahead of a visit by the President, Sello Lediga, who spoke with the community. And what you're saying is true. People were basically doing the same, their laundry in the same water where animals were using that area as their drinking hole. Some were saying they actually had to use that water to cook and complete some of their other chores. When you look at what was said when the President was there was an indication that by March this year there'd be some progress made. We're now in August. What has changed?
Let me tell you, I'm extremely disappointed with President Cyril Ramaphosa, because last year there was a promise in September, in November. When he arrived in Giyani, I was there. He landed in a chopper, and people ululated, hoping that, oh, here's the savior, because this is the president, this is the commander-in-chief of South Africa. And then he went there to promise, as usual, that things would get better. In fact, Tembekele, if you've forgotten, he told the people of Giyani in December, and I was there, that should there be no water in March, he was going to fire Minister Senzo Mtunu. And we waited in March this year, and nothing happened. And then we were given this mid-August deadline, and I can assure you, the reason I issued this statement tomorrow is because I know for a fact that mid-August is going to come and go. It will be the end of August, and then we'll go into spring. Nothing will happen because this government doesn't care. And in fact, I must say, President Ramaphosa must take responsibility for this. I do not understand why a head of state would not feel like a father to 55 villages in a rural area where 4 billion rand has been spent. This is not acceptable. I think the people of South Africa should also express their displeasure at this heartlessness that we see from this current government.
You speak of the people of South Africa needing to express displeasure at the situation in Giyani, yet earlier you were saying, in fact, when Ramaphosa arrived there in December, he arrived to ululation and people looked at him with a great deal of optimism. We're going into an election year in 2024. Do you think that the people there will stick with the ANC with the promise of a better life from the party, or is it up to them to ultimately they make the call and perhaps bring about a change of government in their area?